Hey folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. My name's Nick Granville. I post every day on YouTube. That was a little bit of a funky kind of James Brown track from the good people at Jam Tracks channel. I don't know why I'm saying they're good people, because I don't know them, but they're good people because they're making good tracks, and they're really awesome, kind of sound like real players to me. Anyway, what I thought I took today, it's about how you can kind of change your tone with your picking. It's something I don't see a lot of people do, but yet to me it's such a powerful tool in your arsenal, so use it, you know. If I have a chord like this, if I play up here, it sounds completely different to... Now, and all kinds of degrees in between, right? Depending on where I pick, gets a certain type of tone, right? So that's an important consideration, I think, is like, where are you going to get your thing? I get a lot of comments where people go, how do you get your sound? And I think a lot of it has to do with how I pick. I pick very lightly. Right? It's not... You know what I mean? And that gives me room to be dynamic, right? If I want to like accent notes, I can dig into them, you know. Accenting over every offbeat like that, I can do it just by hitting a little harder on the upbeats or whatever. Gives me room that if the band gets louder, I can just dig in a little more and kind of scope to do that. There's nothing worse than not being able to hear yourself properly, because what I find, you know, the classic old sound engineer thing is, on a live gig, they'll be like, oh, just turn your amp down and use it as a monitor. And I'm like, it's not a monitor. This is part of my sound. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, like, as soon as I do that, now all that happens is I play overly hard, right? Because I'm trying to balance to hear myself as I want to hear it. And then all they can do is push the fader up and they've got a crappy guitar sound. Nobody wins. Better thing, just let me do what I do. And if you don't need it in the PA, sweet as. Don't put it in the PA. If it doesn't need to be there, it doesn't need to be there. And that's because I pick really lightly and I want to have room to kind of thing. And of course I'm being considerate. I'm not trying to blast people. That's not my thing. I'm trying to blend with the music, but anyway, where I was going with that is that I like to pick light. You can see there I can accent and kind of make something of it. But I'm also thinking about where I'm picking to kind of colour the tone. Sometimes I kind of turn the pick around and do things like that instead of straight, because all those things affect your sound and what you're doing. And I think that kind of level of detail and variation is what makes things interesting, right? Especially with an overdriven tone. It's one of the reasons I like playing with that kind of tone I had a minute ago. That's basically a Fender Super in the Fractal FM9, and I've just dimed it out. So the distortion is actually the amp. And they're pretty realistic in terms of how they do that in these modelers. See, it's kind of bottoming out like a real amp would. And I like that sound because, again, when I change my picking, it changes how the distortion reacts to it. You're hearing my microphone a little bit at the moment too, but that's something I would implore you to think about, like where you pick, how hard you pick, all that kind of stuff with the right hand that makes it sound a certain way, right? I think it's such an important thing in how you shape the tone. The other thing to think about too is your pick that you use, and I know guitar players are notorious for these. I had some made for me. I don't know if you can see that, but I started wearing a bit. I actually like them better when they're worn a bit. They actually feel better, but also I think they look cool. But these are basically Dunlop 1.14, I think they are, so they've got a bit of flex to them. They're quite a soft material, so they're kind of good for... Can do that kind of thing. Can do that really well, but can also like lead stuff where you don't want a too soft a pick for it. So yeah, you pick where you pick it, how you pick it, and the volume you pick with, all those kind of things really impact your tone. And this is something I think about a lot when I play. Like, I'm constantly varying it, and I do it when I practice a lot too, so that when I play and I get in on the gig, that all that work is done and it comes out in the music, and hopefully the audience responds to it. So I hope that's been useful. It's just a quick little one today. I thought maybe that might be something to talk about. If you have anything you want me to show, then leave it in the comments below. And if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And maybe share this video with people you think would be into the same kind of stuff. As I said, I post every day on YouTube, so I'm hoping this will have benefit to you and to other people who play guitar, or musicians in general. It's not just guitar stuff I cover, but yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Cheers.